Dushyant, now that we are trying to, I kind of understood when you said we need to reach Paramatma. Now, next thing is, how do I get to this Paramatma? And the way we live, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, does that make a difference in our journey towards Paramatma?
How do I reach Paramatma? Let's take up that question, Priya, first. There was a statement that I had cited from Shastram which stated that Paramatma and Jivatma are inseparable.
Right.
We are linked to that Paramatma.
Right.
But Shastram also tells that due to karma, this Jivatma is housed in a body and it undergoes this change through many bodies.
Right.
Now comes the feeling. Now you've got this feeling, how do I reach that Paramatma? When you say, how do I reach Paramatma, Shastram tells there should be an underlying thought that I should get relieved of this bondage to reach Paramatma.
Right.
Because if you do not want to reach Paramatma and yet want to know about him, the previous question, whatever you had asked was how do I understand Paramatma will suffice. Nama Sankirtanam, doing charity and all that will suffice.
Right.
But the moment you transcendent yourself to the next question which states, how do I reach Paramatma?
Right.
Then you want to get detached of this worldly existence. But by being in this world itself, I want to understand how do I reach Paramatma without the worldly existence.
Right.
So for that, when the Jivatma is housed in the body, it has two major parts, Priya.
Okay.
This is all what Shastram recommends.
Okay.
A child often at the age of 2 or 2.5 or even 3, when the child manages to get its rows of teeth, the mother would state, I'll teach you how to brush. Stand up on the stool and let me teach you how to brush. And she teaches the child how to brush. She never tells that this is teeth, this is made of this, there is a layer of germs over it that gets accumulated overnight. So to annihilate those germs, you need to do nothing of it.
Right.
She just says, keep your mouth like this, and she starts brushing. This is what the mother does to the child. The same child, when the child progresses after kindergarten to primary school, goes to class 2 or class 3, the teacher comes, good morning children, good morning miss. The child remarks and says, now you know what, I'm going to teach you about teeth. They are 32 in number. You know why do we brush? How many of you brush here? All the children will start raising their hands. You know why we brush? Because we need to get the germs out. So you see two stages. Here, the child has been taught the action, which is karma.
Correct.
The knowledge associated with that action comes later, which is jnanam. So the karma yoga and the jnana yoga are two equally important, equally proportioned steps to understanding God. So my daily habits, my daily understanding helps me do karma, which is my duty, and that leads me to jnanam, which is why I do the duty. And a judicious combination of the two, of the karma and of why I do that karma, which is jnanam, leads me to a divine state of love towards God, which is bhakti. So bhakti is one vehicle that uses karma and jnanam as two wheels. Bhakti is the vehicle that takes the jivatma, who's the passenger, to the destination. The destination is Paramatma. The one who is inside the bus is jivatma. The bus is the bhakti yogam. Karma and jnanam become the wheels. Now we reach. This is one way. But this is not that easy because Ashtanga Yogam forms an essential part of Bhakti Yoga. You have got the Yamam, Niyamam, Asanam, Pranayamam, Pratyaharam, Dharana, Dhyanam, Samadhi. So there are 8 parts to this yoga. So your posture should be good. Your external infatuations should reduce. Your sense organs should be under your control, which is one of the, it's easily said than done. Because when I smell masala vada, I get, oh, there's masala vada. I'm not doing it out of my own purpose. It's my nose which is doing it. So the nose is not under my control. I get to watch so many things which I'm not ought to watch, yet my eyes are not under my control. So this is the first step, bringing the sense organs under control. So there are much more bigger things which finally leads to you to a state of samadhi where even if there is a bomb blast, I should not be perturbed by it because my inner Jivatma is actually conversing with Paramatma. So not even a bomb blast should disturb me. But today, if I get to hear even the faintest of the noises, I look around and check where it is coming.
Yes.
Until then,
Yes.
Bhakti Yoga, though said in a very beautiful fashion and a manner by Krishna, seems to be slightly tough for a normal person like us to reach.
Right.
Probably if you would say that Vyasa did and Valmiki did, then it becomes a very foolish statement from our side to even compare ourselves with Valmiki and Vyasa.
Absolutely.
We know our limitations.
Absolutely.
So we need to find out a better way
Okay.
where this Bhakti Yoga aspects come,
Okay.
but that doesn't become the way.
Okay.
So the other way is what Krishna has cited.
Okay.
He has said, I have given you Bhakti Yogam. So in Bhakti Yogam, you take the effort, you make the effort to reach me. In Bhakti Yogam, to attain me, to attain salvation, you think of me.
Right.
You keep thinking of me. You keep thinking of me till your last breath. When your soul departs from the body, you still need to keep thinking. So he gives plenty of conditions. That's when Sharanagati comes into picture. In Sharanagati, the vehicle is not Bhakti Yogam.
Okay.
The vehicle is not the Bhakti Yogam with Karma and Jnanam.
Okay.
The vehicle is the Lord Himself. What is the destination? The Lord.
The Lord.
So Paramatma is the destination
Right.
in both Bhakti and Sharanagati.
Right.
In Bhakti Yogam, Bhakti becomes the vehicle.
Yes.
Whereas in Sharanagati, the Paramatma himself becomes the vehicle. But it's a very a confusing thing, Priya, because if you would ask me how I would make the South Indian-ish dish dosa, you would say you need a dosa batter and I would need the dosa plate, the stone, the circular pan that I need to make the dosa
Right.
with. So there is the pan that I need to use with the dosa batter to make the dosa.
Right.
And who is eating the dosa? The dosa is eaten by me.
Right.
So I am the eater, I am the one who experiences it. The one that is being experienced is the dosa, and the one that aided in making the dosa is the pan.
Right.
Whereas here I am talking about the Paramatma, which is the destination, and the means to attain Paramatma also becomes Paramatma.
Right.
How do we connect with this? See, suppose I would state that I am going to Tokyo. And you immediately ask me, how are you going? I say, by Tokyo. So by Tokyo, how can I reach Tokyo?
Right.
By Paramatma, how can I reach Paramatma? Is there a worldly example? See, in those days, as per scriptures, it was said that you need to fast on the days of Ekadashi, the 11th day, either in the Shukla Paksham or the Krishna Paksham,
Right.
either before Purnima or Amavasya. So on the day of Ekadashi, people used to fast.
Right.
And on the day of Dwadashi, the day next to it, they would collect some leaves,
Okay.
especially a leaf which was called Agastya Shakha,
Okay.
and they would give it to the cows.
Okay.
My destination or my aim is to make the cow eat the grass, the leaves.
Yes.
How do I attract the cow? I cannot show the cow a bar of dark chocolate and invite the cow.
Yes.
I cannot tell, oh, the beautiful creation of Brahma with 4 legs standing on Mother Earth, please come towards me. It might even run away with these statements of irrelevant words.
Right.
So, the best way is not to speak to it. The best way is not to show an object which I like but that doesn't understand. So, my destination or my aim is to make the cow eat these leaves. I use these leaves themselves to attract the cow. I say, come here, come here. So the cow is not coming because I am calling it. The cow is coming because it likes those leaves.
Right.
The moment it comes, it consumes those leaves. So the leaves become the means,
Correct.
the leaves become the destination. The Paramatma becomes the means, the Paramatma becomes the destination. So in Bhakti Yogam and Sharanagati, the destination is the same.
Okay.
Whereas the means is different. There it's the Bhakti Yogam,
Okay.
here it is the Lord Himself.
Okay.
But we need to understand when we say Lord Himself becomes the vehicle, unlike Bhakti Yogam where Bhakti Yogam becomes the vehicle, what is the difference?
Right.
In Bhakti Yogam is still insentient. When I say insentient, it doesn't have knowledge. Unless and until I follow the rules of it and give life to it, it is still dead.
Right.
So Bhakti Yogam in itself is completely dependent on me. when nobody else is dependent on me, doesn't trust me, it will be very futile for me to trust on my own self.
Right.
So if Bhakti Yogam trusts in me and I am untrustworthy and not trustworthy, then it doesn't serve the purpose. So Bhakti Yogam is very, very beautiful. Bhakti Yogam has been time and again described by Veda Vyasa in the Brahma Sutras, called the sadhana or upasana. Lord Krishna describes Bhakti Yogam in Bhagavad Gita. Despite all this, Bhakti Yogam is a wonderful way. Despite all this, Bhakti Yogam is not that easy for us to grant salvation in that Janmam. It may give salvation in one particular way. But how do I reach God? The easiest way is Sharanagati, because the vehicle is the Lord. So the vehicle is very trustworthy. The passenger may not be, but the vehicle is carried and it's not going to stop anyway.
Absolutely.
And the person who is to be reached becomes the means. So Sharanagati is one of those beautiful ways where you surrender yourself, the inner soul, to the Lord with the responsibility you are giving to Him to tell the Lord that you need to protect the soul, this Jivatma, from now on. So at this point in time, the aspects of bhakti like karma, jnanam, bhakti, they all also become an integral part of Bhakti Yogam, but they don't become the means. You do it, you do karma, you do jnanam, you do bhakti just for the sake of doing it. You love doing it. But the Lord has become our vehicle, and the moment He has become the vehicle, it becomes very easy for us. But the most important thing is, we need to take that effort to surrender to the Lord. See, if everything is by default, that He will give moksham, you don't have to do anything, then the very presence of our knowledge to differentiate between the good and bad should not be granted. When we have been granted the knowledge, we should choose whether to do or not to do. So the moment we do it, we are for it. So, honestly speaking, or to sum it up in a few words, you've got Bhakti Yogam and Sharanagati, which is Nyasa Yogam. Bhakti Yogam is equally beautiful, and Sharanagati, which is Nyasa Yogam, is equally beautiful. But in Bhakti Yogam, probably you may have to be at the caliber of Vyasa, Vasishtha, Valmiki and so on. Whereas in Sharanagati, it is meant for common people like us too. So this is one of the best ways which the Shastram recommends. You were asking about food and lifestyle, Priya. See, it will be very, very foolish on our parts to disassociate food and lifestyle from spirituality. See, ultimately this body becomes the career, and the body depends on food. The body is dependent on lifestyle. Suppose I wake up at only 8 and I sleep at 1, which I do most of the times, then the body goes on a toll, and the body cannot be active. So this body is prone to lifestyle changes. I go in the traffic of Bangalore traffic or Chennai traffic or Mumbai traffic. After 1 hour I'll be exhausted. The body can't withstand it. So lifestyle, both the external and the internal, make a lot of difference. When I talk about lifestyle, our rishis have mentioned about getting up, waking up early in the morning. Brahme muhurte cha utthaya. Waking up early in the morning. They are ways which aid us, which catalyze this process of which catalyze the spiritual progress. When it comes to food, majorly, Chandogya Upanishad states, Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhihi. The Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smritihi. See, be it you or me, Priya, any normal person, when we understand about God and when we know this is God and this is how we have to reach God, there's an inner feeling of contemplating on that God, keep thinking of that God. But we've got our worldly activities. One of the major worldly activities is food. Morning we wake up, cook and eat. Afternoon we cook, eat. Night we cook, eat. And there are small breaks in between which the dietitians, modern dietitians recommend to have smaller snacks. So the entire day goes in about major 3 meals and 2 or 3 sub meals. So in this process, the food becomes a major obstacle for us because one, we spend time in cooking, and second, with the quantity we consume, that gets digested and our blood glucose level rises and we fall asleep. So to anyone, whatever they eat, they fall asleep. So food happens to be a major obstacle. So what should we do about food? That's why there used to be a saying, if you have food once a day, you are a yogi. You keep contemplating on God. And then you have food twice a day. you're a bhogi, you love to eat food, which is you're a gourmet, you love taste and you want to have it. Then comes a state wherein you have 3 meals a day. I have 3 meals a day. I'm called a rogi. It's believed that I'm a personification of all possible diseases, some active and some dormant. So, food in itself, be it the number of times you have it in a day and the quantity that you have it in a day, makes a difference. Now, coming to what food one consumes, the food should be so simple that the body takes very little energy to digest it. The moment we start consuming heavy food and the body spends a lot of energy, our spiritual progress will come down. See, you must have heard of rishis in Ramayana who live just on fruits. As worldly people who live in homes and apartments, it's very tough. But whatever we consume today, we take half of it from now on, we'll be better off spiritually. And coming to the likes of food, what vegetables and what vegetables not to have, we do have rishis talking about that as well. But in today's context, Priya, honestly speaking, it becomes very irrelevant because people are running, either for work or for money or for studies or whatever. So it doesn't matter to them where they get the food from, what food is it. But yes, our rishis have been so very intelligent, patient, that they have mentioned what we should eat and what will help us in the spiritual progress. So there is a food element attached to it, there is a lifestyle element attached to it, but all this coupled with contemplating on God helps us progress spiritually.
Okay.